Are you ready to become a change maker? Our 48-week postgraduate program in public policy or the PGP may be just the thing for you. This hybrid program is designed to give you both the theoretical foundation and hands-on experience needed to excel in policy making. With a mix of expert-led webinars, in-person workshops, and policy simulation exercises, you'll gain real-world skills along with personalized mentorship. Through our policy programs, we connect good people to good ideas and good networks. Apply now at the link in the description to make an impact.
Welcome to All Things Policy, a daily podcast by the Takshashila Institution. We are a bunch of policy nerds based in Bengaluru, and we like bringing fresh perspectives to Indian affairs and Indian perspectives to global affairs. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and join us for today's chat.
Hello and welcome everyone to this episode of the All Things Policy podcast. Today we explore one of the most consequential yet understudied strategic relationships in Eurasia. The Turkey-Pakistan alliance has evolved from cultural kinship, comprehensive strategic partnership with profound implications for regional security and counterterrorism efforts and also nuclear diplomacy. As Turkey emerges as Pakistan's second largest arms supplier after China, and as both nations provide unwavering diplomatic support on issues like Kashmir and Cyprus, we must ask, is India facing a new geopolitical challenge that extends beyond its traditional concerns with Pakistan? With Turkey supporting Pakistan at international forums like the FATF and NSG, while simultaneously pursuing economic opportunities with India, what strategic options does New Delhi have in this increasingly complex trilateral dynamic? I am your host today. I am Arindam Goswami. I work as a research analyst in the high-tech geopolitics program here at Takshashila. And to discuss all of this, I have my colleague Aishwaria Sonavane, who is a research analyst for Pakistan studies at the Takshashila Institution and who's done extensive studies on Pakistan. She's also written an op-ed on this very topic, which you'll find in the show notes. Welcome, Aishwaria. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, Arindam. Happy to be here and have this wonderful conversation about Turkey and Pakistan.
Great, thanks. So let's dive into the questions. My first question to you would be, beyond the ceremonial optics, right? How do Pakistan and Turkey's relations reflect deeper ideological and strategic alignments? So if you could just maybe that.
Right. So Pakistan and Turkey's camaraderie isn't just about diplomatic pleasantries or strong diplomatic ties. I think it's shaped by shared history, ideological leanings, and strategic requirements. Their relationship dates back to the Khilafat movement of the 1920s, when Indian Muslims, including future Pakistani leaders, rallied behind the Ottoman Empire. In today's context, I think these ties between Islamabad and Ankara manifest in deep military relations, economic cooperation, and diplomatic support for each other, not just bilaterally, but also on multilateral and international platforms. So I think that's where the ties are right now.
Right. And with Turkey emerging as Pakistan's second largest weapons supplier after China, how does this impact India's security concerns, particularly regarding defense preparedness and regional stability?
So Turkey is not just supplying weapons to Pakistan, right? It's actively helping modernize its defense industry. Ankara sold cutting-edge Milgeb warships, attack helicopters, and precision-guided munitions, making it a crucial military ally for Islamabad. For India, this means recalibrating its defense preparedness. As Pakistan's arsenal isn't just Chinese anymore, it's getting Turkish upgrades as well. So the diversification of Pakistan's arsenal makes India's defense calculus even more complex, as it must now account for Turkish military technology in addition to the Chinese support that Pakistan has already been getting, and to a greater extent in recent times now.
Right, and this diversification by Pakistan of its weapons supplies from US and then China and then now Turkey, does that signal something from Pakistan's perspective, or is that something that was always on the cards but is now getting speeded up?
I think it's part of Pakistan's defense requirement. Currently, given the ties between US and Pakistan, US right now is occupied in the Middle East and in the Europe. So the attention has gone away from Pakistan. Trump in his first term also withdrew a lot of support for Pakistan. So I would say, given the current dynamics in the Indo-Pacific, US is currently more inclined towards India, and its attention has relatively gone off Pakistan. So I think it's more of a necessity than Pakistan making this decision to be close to Turkey or China or US. So I think it's just part of its defense upgradation program. And it's nothing new, right? Pakistan has always had a great relationship with both Turkey and China.
Right, right. And this sort of complicates the strategic scenarios for India also. We now have to, I mean, although Turkey is not, I mean, while it was the only FATF member to support Pakistan's removal from the grey list in 2020. And I mean, when it came to Turkey's opposition to India's nuclear suppliers group membership, while supporting India's bid, all of this affects India's approach to nuclear diplomacy also, and it reveals something about Ankara's geopolitical positioning also, right? So, how should India navigate this dynamic? Does it make India's relations with Turkey, a little tricky?
There are multiple layers to this. When Pakistan was scrambling to get off the FATF grey list in 2020, Turkey was the only member that openly backed Islamabad. I don't think the reason for this was just their bilateral ties, but it was a strategic calculation in the context of Turkey. Ankara saw this as an opportunity to expand its influence in South Asia by standing up for Pakistan. It sort of used this to position itself as a reliable Muslim majority power that is challenging Western financial scrutiny in the Indian subcontinent. And coming to Turkey's opposition to India's NSG membership, Turkey's opposition to India's bid for nuclear supplier group while backing Pakistan is another strategic move. It's not just about Pakistan. It's, like I said, it's about Ankara's own positioning as a counterweight to Western dominance in global nuclear governance. For India, I think securing NSG membership will require deeper engagement with key stakeholders like France, the US, and even Middle Eastern countries that have strategic ties with Ankara. At this point, given India's increasing cooperation with US and its Western allies, considering how India is positioned as a counterweight to China in the region, and we've seen the expansion of New Delhi's ties in the Middle East, particularly under the Narendra Modi government. I don't see this as the biggest challenge for India, at least in the immediate term, especially because this is not something new. Turkey and Pakistan have had close ties for, like I said, for various purposes, specifically for their ideological leanings and strategic ties. Also, to build on it, Cyprus and Kashmir's impact on India's, I want to bring in how Pakistan has historically supported Turkey's position on northern Cyprus, while a move has been reciprocated by Ankara by its vocal advocacy for Pakistan's stance on Kashmir. So this diplomatic quid pro quo kind of complicates India's efforts to build support for its position on Kashmir with Turkey. So I think that's just to highlight again how Turkey and Pakistan ties are very mutually beneficial for each other. And Turkey has consistently raises the Kashmir issue at the UN and OIC. So I think this diplomatic barter makes India's outreach to Europe and the Middle East even more critical, especially as Greece and Cyprus seek stronger ties with New Delhi.
Right. So, in a way, would it be correct to say that the Turkey-Pakistan relations have always been on a good keel, and the changes that are happening now, or the events that are happening now, are not really out of the blue? So, in that sense, these diplomatic actions or these actions between Turkey and Pakistan don't really impact India's regional and international strategies, or do you see some changes happening? Or rather, could we use this to our advantage to form much more wider cooperations for various issues, right? So, for example, the shared concern over extremism between Pakistan and Turkey, particularly regarding ISKP, does that offer any scope for trilateral counterterrorism cooperation, or does it, on the contrary, further complicate India's security calculus?
Um, like I said, the current developments, including Erdogan's visit to Pakistan, just 2 weeks ago, he again advocated that India and Pakistan should hold a dialogue on Kashmir. This is not something new, right? Erdogan, except for this time in the UNSC, has often been very vocal in favor of Pakistan when it comes to Kashmir. These developments are not new, at least in the context of bilateral ties, as well as including India. But when we get counterterrorism cooperation on the ISKP, so here's where things get a little tricky. Pakistan and Turkey both oppose the Islamic State Khorasan province. Some elements of this group have been known to operate in Turkey. Islamic State has a faction called the Islamic State Pakistan province that operates in Balochistan and the rest of Pakistan, while the ISKP is predominantly in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. Um, Yet their broader counterterrorism narratives diverge. So Turkey's leniency towards groups like the Muslim Brotherhood contrasts sharply with India's security concerns. Turkey has been criticized for its ambiguous stance on certain Islamist groups, while Pakistan's own record remains complex when it comes to Islamist militant groups. So India must therefore assess whether Turkey Pakistan counter-terrorism cooperation, if any, is a genuine effort or a potential security risk that could indirectly impact its own counterterrorism challenges. But given that ISKP operations are happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or in Afghanistan, I would say that there are no direct threats to India's security challenges linked with the Islamic State, at least in the current times. Also, because India's security apparatus is strong enough, and we've seen how the Islamic State, which also had a Islamic State Hind province, that got some momentum in Kashmir for a bit, but the phenomena of Islamic State has never really resonated with the Indian Muslims. Not now, not when the Islamic State held territories in Iraq and Syria. So I would say the counterterrorism factor does not really play a big role in India. It's something between Pakistan and Turkey. However, there are no strong counter-terrorism mechanisms or intelligence sharing mechanisms in place between these two countries. So again, coming back, I think Turkey Pakistan ties are mainly focused on their defense cooperation, trade to a certain extent, and I would repeat this, their ideological leanings and shared histories. So that's where we are at.
Right. So, are you saying that although Turkey has positioned itself as a key player in the Islamic world, that wouldn't really change or influence Pakistan's foreign policy on India, particularly on issues like Kashmir, because their support for Pakistan has always been known, right, on these issues. So there's not really any change in that. So Turkey's growing strategic presence in Pakistan does not really alter the traditional India-Pakistan dynamic in that sense, or does it?
I don't think Turkey plays a significant role, or a closeness between Turkey or Pakistan will impact India in any way, or will impact India Pakistan ties in any way. And like I said, because this is nothing new, there isn't much that countries are saying that they haven't. Uh, these positions on Kashmir have been decades long. Whatever Erdogan says right now, I would consider that to be just rhetoric. It's nothing beyond that. And I think when it comes to Kashmir, it's a bilateral position, something that India has also maintained, that India rejects any third party mediation or interference, not just with Turkey, but that's a position that India has also vocalized to the US. So no international platforms or external countries at this point or in the coming future will play a significant role in the context of Kashmir and the broader India Pakistan dynamics. So, a simple answer is no, they
Right,
wouldn't.
right. And so now moving away from the issues of terrorism, extremism, and like Kashmir, let's look at the economic aspects here. So, despite strong Pakistan-Turkey ties, Turkey has always shown interest in improving relations with India, particularly for economic and multilateral ambitions. So, could this be an opportunity for India to, recalibrate its engagement with Ankara and use that for a broader regional ambitions in, say, West Asia or Middle East as such, right?
So, despite the political differences, right, Turkey sees immense economic potential in India. India is one of Turkey's biggest trading partners in Asia. Um, Bilateral trade between the two countries is expanding, particularly in sectors like construction, textile, and tourism. Um, if India if India strategically deepens these economic ties, it could create leverage to temper Turkey's pro-Pakistan tilt while securing key economic benefits. However, again, I don't see this making any meaningful impact in the broader India Turkey ties, Turkey Pakistan ties, or India Pakistan ties. So, again, Turkey's pro Pakistan position has not really hampered trade or economic engagement between the two countries. So, again, I would say I wouldn't write off this relationship just yet. There is a lot of room for diplomacy and economic cooperation between India and Turkey.
And this seems a little strange that Turkey seems to have different relations with Pakistan and India. It's supporting Pakistan on issues that and taking stance on such issues that are antithetical to maybe India's interests, but at the same time, it's wanting to engage economically and otherwise with India. So it seems like a strange sort of mix here. And if we bring in the other big player in our neighborhood, China, right? So with China already a major backer of Pakistan, uh, does this hodgepodge of relations actually do anything to tilt the regional balance against India or in favor of India?
My very short answer to that is in with everything happening in the Indian subcontinent or the broader Indo-Pacific region in the context of US China rivalry, I don't think that Turkey plays such a significant role in the region that it has the ability to impact or change regional dynamics at this point. So, not really. I wouldn't say that it currently holds that kind of power to have that impact.
Right. And so Turkey has also been wanting to engage with us through multilateral platforms like BRICS and the SCO, right? So does India's engagement with Turkey through these platforms provide us any opportunity to either reduce Ankara's alignment with Pakistan or in general, right? Leaving aside Pakistan, maybe.
Uh, I would say that this might not impact Turkey Pakistan relations per se, but India definitely has an opportunity. So ties between India and Turkey are not they're not bad, right? There is still diplomacy, there is still engagement.
Right.
The countries do see eye to eye in multilateral platforms. So again, India can definitely improve its economic ties with Turkey, but at this point, I don't think Turkey is the biggest foreign policy priority for India, if that makes sense.
Right, right.
So Turkey will be there. India will have amicable ties. It will still continue to take a strong position when Kashmir is involved. But I don't really see much change for good or for bad overall in India Turkey ties
Right.
in the immediate terms. Yeah.
So basically, you're saying Turkey, as such, doesn't have enough of an influence to sort of affect India's position in the Indian subcontinent as such. So while that may be true, would it help to use our engagements with Turkey to even maybe a small extent to sort of isolate Pakistan and I mean, it's already being backed by China. It also has a strong backer in Turkey. Although, as you've mentioned, that doesn't really matter to a large extent. But would it help to isolate Pakistan in that sense?
Well, isolating Pakistan, it's not possible, right? It's a rhetoric that is often used in New Delhi, but for good or for bad, for all its economic challenges, Pakistan still remains a very critical and a significant nation in the Indian subcontinent for various reasons. And if you think about it, Pakistan and Turkey military cooperation isn't just happening in isolation, or it's not just happening keeping India in the calculus. It's part of a broader realignment in the Muslim world, where Turkey sees this as an opportunity to see greater influence at the expense of greater traditional powerhouses like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. India must factor in these evolving dynamics when formulating its regional strategy, particularly in the relation to the Gulf states. So again, like I said, Turkey Pakistan relations are bilateral in nature, and it's not just to oppose India, if that makes sense. Like
Right.
how in the broader geopolitical circles, we speak a lot about how India plays a common factor in Pakistan China ties. I wouldn't put Turkey in the same calculus. So
Right.
uh, these are all independent relationships.
Could you, you mentioned an important part? Could you maybe throw some light on how Turkey is trying to evolve its maybe power or status in the overall geopolitical context? That was interesting.
Right. So in the Muslim world, in 2018 under Imran Khan, 2018, 2019, Turkey was trying to position itself not just in the Gulf, but there was this realignment between Malaysia, Pakistan, and Turkey, where what it seemed like Turkey was trying to not just engage in Europe or West Asia, but also expand its influence among Muslim majority countries in Asia as well. So when he visited Pakistan last month, he also went to Malaysia and Indonesia. So I think taking all of this into consideration, it seems like Turkey is also trying to position itself as a leader, as a leading country in the Muslim world, where, like I said, there are powerhouses like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE. So these are just diplomatic endeavors to sort of raise their stature, if I may.
Great, great. Thanks, Aishwarya. This was an interesting discussion. If I could summarize what we discussed, or maybe if you want to probably have some last thoughts on this, yeah.
Right. Thank you for having me, Arindam. This was a great conversation. So just to conclude it, so is Turkey a challenge for India, right? That's a question. Yes, but it's also an opportunity. By balancing diplomacy, trade, and strategic partnerships, I think India can prevent Turkey from becoming an outright adversary while also leveraging Ankara's own ambitions for its benefit. So I think there is a lot of scope in bilateral ties. It'll be very interesting to see how the Turkey Pakistan dynamics, how this dynamics plays out, especially when we're talking about defense cooperation. So it's an interesting time, and we'll see how things go as we move ahead.
Thanks, Aishwarya. So I'm sure our listeners would also enjoy this insightful discussion. Thanks, Aishwarya. Thanks for taking time out.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you liked our show, dive into Takshashila's research on technology, strategy, and economic affairs. Check us out at our Twitter handle at Takshashila INST or our website takshashila.org.in.